Hey everybody, welcome back for a little weekend philosophy. We're sitting inside tonight because it's raining outside and raining at such an angle that all of my patio furniture is soaked to the core. So there is no sitting outside, but it's beautiful early autumn weather. The temperature's right, but the moisture level is above average. But despite that, I was standing outside a bit ago and watched my crazy neighbor lady chase her boyfriend down the street in the rain. Now I gotta put this all into perspective for you. My neighbor lady is a wonderful, wonderful woman when she is sober. It's a weekend, so she is no longer sober. Her boyfriend is a wonderful man who apparently has some infidelity issues. I can't speak to that directly. I've never seen it. I've only heard about it from my drunk neighbor lady. Well, tonight in the rain, she's chasing him down the street, her in her nightgown, him fully clothed, but with a garbage bag full of his own clothing chasing behind him. I mean, this is the stuff that cartoons are made of. This is 60s, 70s cartoon stuff, the old woman with the broom chasing the mice kind of thing. And it was absolutely hysterical and tragic all at once because it's raining. And I don't know what Jerry did to deserve it on this particular night, but chances are it was unwarranted. But she didn't care. She still chased him down the block in her nightgown. So that just sets the stage for all of the things that each of us did wrong when we were children. And I want you to understand, I was a good kid. I mean, my life is so vanilla that you can't even believe. I mean, I'm a boring dude. But between third and fourth grade, I switched schools. 10 miles down the road because the school in my small town shut down. And that was just a sign of the times. One room schoolhouse down to no room schoolhouse. And the first year of that transition was tremendously difficult. Nobody liked me because I was the new kid. And I was pretty lame. I mean, there weren't a lot of redeeming qualities for me to bring to the table other than the fact that I didn't bring anything to the table. I didn't pick fights. I just wanted to go to school and go to school. But being the new kid, you get picked on. That's the reality even in these days. But by the time I was in fifth grade, I started to make some friends and got to be pretty close with the second coolest kid in the class. Do with that what you will. It was a small class. But I was to stay overnight with him on the last night of our fifth grade year so that we could play video games and watch movies and do what fifth grade kids did in the mid to late 80s. But it was also the last day of school, so you had to bring a squirt gun. Couldn't use them during school, that's not allowed. But after school, all bets are off, right? Because you're dumb young elementary kids. So the final bell rings, and me and my buddy and two other classmates went down to the bathroom so we could fill our squirt guns and have some fun on the playground on the way out of school. And one of our classmates, who was never on my A list, and to this day he'd probably punch me if he saw me, says, "Are you going to do it?" And my buddy, who I'm to stay with, says, No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it." "Oh, come on." "No, not going to do it." "Come on, you pussy." And I am oblivious to all of this. I'm like, I don't know what you guys, gonna do what? What exactly are you going to do? I, I'm a naive, young, small town kid. Well, we leave the bathroom, and my buddy is clearly not going to do whatever it is that he was going to do. And then my buddy starts jogging. So we all start jogging. We pass one classroom. Then he takes off running. And we run to keep up with him. And we pass the second classroom and the third classroom. And then he takes off at a dead sprint, jumps, and yanks on the fire alarm. And I remember at that exact moment, probably the first time I had ever in my life cussed. And I didn't say it out loud, but my head was saying, oh shit. In slow motion. But I felt like little orphan Annie at the moment. What am I supposed to do? I mean, this is my buddy. I'm staying at his house. He pulled the fire alarm. What do I do now? Like, where do you even go from there? So, of course, like a naive little kid, I just kept chasing my best buddy because I'm staying overnight at his house. If he outruns me, then where do I go? And I swear to you, you have never seen fifth graders run so far or so fast as we did. Except for the one. The one who kept pushing him while we were in the bathroom saying, oh, come on, you gotta. What's he do? He hits that back door of the school and he stops and he starts walking. And he watches us on a dead sprint as we go away from that school. And he walks away, staring at us like, what are those guys doing? Well, holy crap. Who would have thought the C- student in our class was the most diabolical criminal mind ever? Because he got off scot-frickin' free. We ran to my buddy's house at a lightning pace. I mean, lightning pace. And we got back there and, you know, the adrenaline's going, oh yeah, oh that was fun, oh that was so cool, I can't believe we got away with it. And we're congratulating ourselves, my buddy in particular, but oh, I can't believe you did that, oh that was so cool. And here comes the principal right up to the door. And my buddy says, don't answer the door, just go upstairs, we're gonna go upstairs. Okay, because clearly the fact that the principal was there, he was just, you know, that was a shot in the dark. He didn't actually see, Well, about 2 minutes later, my buddy's mom came home. Says, boys, come downstairs. And we did, and she was right over the top of her glasses as each of us marched down those stairs. And we got the look. Well, needless to say, we had been busted. I didn't get to stay overnight at my buddy's house. My mom came and very reluctantly and angrily picked me up. I'm very disappointed in you. Like, what was I supposed to do? I'm staying overnight at his house. Yeah, I wilted, I wimped out on that whole moment, but I was terrified. Anyway, I got to spend the next 2 days hanging out with my buddy, because from 8 until noon each of the next 2 days, we got to spend the morning sweeping off the playground, the newly asphalted playground, with whisk brooms. You remember whisk brooms? You know, about 6 inches wide? Yeah. One for each of us. And we were not allowed to leave until that playground was clean enough to eat off of. There was not a pebble left on that, and that was our mission. We each, you know, side by side, had to sweep that playground off of all pebbles and rocks, and it was some of the most excruciating manual labor I've ever been through. None of us ever pulled the fire alarm off after that. But I tell you what, there's not one of the three of us that would trade that experience back. And I would not ever advocate for any kid purposely getting into trouble. But it's those type of moments that bond us together as friends, especially as young kids. But that's one of the most fond memories I have of growing up. Even that 8 hours of hands and knees on the playground. And no principal could get away with punishing kids that way now. But in 1988-89, yeah, you could get away with that. And I will say to this day that those two guys that I spent that day sweeping with are still two very good friends. We don't talk as much as we should or as much as we could. But every time we get together, believe me, that's what we talk about. And you don't realize when you're a kid the expense or the disruption that it causes in a day for so many other people when something like a fire alarm is pulled. I mean, it's terrible. That was, at the time, we were told it was about $500 because the 8 people that showed up in the fire trucks, they all had to get off work to do that. We didn't have a full-time fire department. Plus, the utilization of the vehicle and the so on and the so forth. But for us, it was just plain fun. What a terrible example I'm setting for the world, right? Now, nevertheless, I want to know what you guys did that was stupid and childish and disruptive, close to criminal, but, don't tell me if you robbed a bank. I don't want to be culpable in all of that. But if you did stupid stuff, I want to know about it. Come on. Lay some stories on me. Anyway, smoking on a little Sherlock Holmes tonight. First time I've ever tried it. It's definitely in English. Definitely very smooth. I'm enjoying it a great deal. And I'm smoking it in what I believed was a Paranelli from Italy. Recently purchased. And then I found out that it's a knockoff. And I'm not sure what to do with that because it's still a good pipe. It's not an actual Paranelli. I couldn't even tell you what a real one retails for. I just know that this apparently is not it. So I'm going to refer to it as my henceforth Wackinelli. But it does what it's supposed to do, at least when it stays lit. So that said, decided to lay off the heavy stuff tonight, all that be a better person stuff, be a better person, like don't pull the fire alarm. We'll start there. No matter who you are or where you are, I hope you're having a great evening. This is Bearded Bristol. We'll talk to you again soon. By the way, I'm now on Facebook under Bearded Bristol. Look it up, check it out. Follow it. Pipes and tobaccos and scotch and stuff. Oh, scotch and stuff. I got a really good scotch and stuff coming. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.